ZBA to order at 7:02. I'm supposed to go, well, we can do the Pledge of Allegiance. There's no one in the audience. We'll skip the fire.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
All right, Madam Secretary, the roll call, please.
Andrew Urbanowitz.
Here.
Mary Ann Turner. Here. Charlie Mastaverdi. Absent. Rich Stroni.
Here.
Matt Despard. Christine Dubani.
DeBoni, here.
Boney. I'll get better.
It's okay.
All right. We have no old business, so on to the new business. If you could read the legal notice.
Published legal notice in Journal Inquirer on Thursdays, April 11th and 18, 2024. The Enfield Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing at their regular meeting on Monday, April 22nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers, 820 Enfield Street, Enfield, Connecticut, concerning the following applications. ZBA 2024-03-22, 348 Hazard Ave, application to appeal a cease and desist order of section 5.20. Business use table, Matt DeRoma, applicant, 348 Hazard Avenue LLC, owner map 83, lot 263, HVBL zone.
Okay. Is the, that's the appellant?
You want to go back to the fire evacuation notice? Just for-
Yeah, sure,
Yes.
I'll read the fire evacuation notice. So there's two ways out of the room tonight. One is behind the audience, down the steps onto the town green. The other is out the door to the right of the audience, down the stairs and into the parking lot. We're ready if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
My home address?
Yes.
Matt Roma, 4 Scully Road, Summers, Connecticut, 06071.
Okay. What would you,
Could you, microphone, please?
yeah.
Should show red.
Shit. Okay.
Nope,
I think we're okay. You just go on and tell
Tell us your story.
Yep.
Tell us my story. How far back do you want to go? Okay, first thing, like, before we start, whatever, I had things I was going to hand to you guys. I can hand them to you if you want. Might be easier to read them rather than me trying to speak. But it's basically, and I talked to you in the wetlands about this a couple weeks ago. It's just about people taking pictures of my property in the area where my kids play. The only thing I ask is if you want to go there and take pictures, just come and ask me first. You don't have to give me a week's notice. I told you this. You don't have to give me a week's notice. You don't have to give me days' notice, hours' notice. Just show up. Just show up. If my kids are down there, I'll bring them up. Go down and click away. Okay? I couldn't get Rick. I couldn't get anyone in the wetlands to agree to that. You know? I don't understand why that's an issue. You know, do any of you have kids? If someone was in the woods,
If they're in the public, there's no expectation of privacy, and so if that's your issue.
so if they're in my
there's really no
backyard,
duty.
or they're on my property?
That's not really relevant to why we're here tonight. Why don't you
No,
please
that was
get
part of
back on
my
track?
appeal thing. That was part of my complaint.
That's not something we have jurisdiction over, so tell us about the zoning issues.
No. Seriously. You guys can't agree that it's wrong to take pictures of a 12-year-old.
We don't
That's not our authority. That's not granted to us by the legislature.
Morally. Forget the zoning thing. Morally.
I'm not here to debate you, sir. We're here to
I'm
hear
not
your
debating.
appeal.
I'm telling you. I
Tell
won't
us
debate.
about
I'm
your
telling
appeal.
you. It is wrong to have people go in the woods. Go ahead.
Who would we address that with? What
So we're here in front of the zoning board.
I mean, you can take it up with the town manager. I mean, that's his job.
Even though you are the people doing the photos.
We are not the people doing any photos.
Someone from the town was back there.
We are a volunteer
We-
board,
okay, so
sir.
Addressing it with the town manager then would be the correct way to approach this?
Yeah,
That one
yes.
specific issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. I'm a father. There's reasons.
Okay,
You
and
know?
we have to address that with the town
Yeah.
manager, not the zoning.
So what do you want to know about the zoning?
Well, tell us why you're here today, why you believe the zoning enforcement officer is wrong, and you've appealed, so
Listen,
that's.
I just appealed the
Tell
time.
us about
I appealed the timeline. Okay, Rick sent us a letter saying landscaping is not an approved business for the Hazardsville historic area. That's fine. We didn't know that. I asked him to explain it to my tenant. So my tenant, or my former tenant, knows that the town is basically asking him to leave, not me. I'm not the one breaking the lease. The town is forcing me or asking me to break the lease.
So I think, I'm just going to jump in here. I'm Tony Boyle. I live at 344 Hazard Avenue. I've been there for 30 years. I'm next door. So as far as the zoning, there has never been an issue before with having it as a warehouse. There was,
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. As a
so
what
there
house?
was, so that building was being used for the last 30 years as a warehouse. And the last tenant that was in there was also using it as a warehouse and not running a business out of it. Now, he has gone, but Matt has lost the revenue of rent that he was promised when he bought the building. He was supposed to be there for 10 years. And when you guys came in, it was not a landscaping business. It was just using it as storage. So I think that there's been much confusion with all of this. So I don't know. He has since moved. He's gone now. He put everything back the way it was supposed, way better than it's ever been before. Planted trees that you guys asked him to do, and we have pictures that everything is cleaned up and put back. But again, I think the problem that Matt is having is what can he do with that building that's been used as warehouse for the last 30 years, at least, because that's how long I've been there.
And it's obviously the warehouse. There's loading dock back there. There's bay doors. Can I hand?
Yep.
Well, there's one for everyone.
Oh, then, yeah, you can hand it out.
Can I just give it to you and you pass it down? Sure. Awesome.
I would just take this to note for the record that Christine is sitting in as a full member tonight, even though she's an alternate, because we didn't say that on the record.
Thank you. No, looks pretty good.
Yeah, and
So-
I'm also a business owner in Hazardville. So, I do have a lot of stake. Not only do I live right there, but I am a hypnotist and I have an office in Darley's Boutique.
Could I just ask
so-
a question?
Sure.
On your exhibits, are there two separate sets of photos? Because we have different
It's
documents.
front and back. Some of them are not printed front and back.
Nope.
I was trying to do
So this is the complete thing. I mean, we don't need extra, just so we know that that's a
Yeah,
set.
no, there's front and back. But yeah, I guess yours did not print front and back.
Okay,
I have a
not-
front and
not a
back copy
problem.
if you want.
You have a set for the file?
Okay, as long as he's got that, we're okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to be sure you didn't have another exhibit that we're missing.
No, the original reason I appealed was because when he told us, and we met with him so he could explain it to the former tenant, what was going on. And Greg was, saying, okay, I understand, it's fine, I'll leave, I just need some time. Okay, Rick said, just give me a time frame, we're not here to bust your chops. Okay? and he set a date for May 15th. Rick sent an email for that. He's saying he misspoke, or you worded it poorly, you said, on the email?
No, you can continue, I'll respond to that.
Okay, well, it's on the wetlands meeting. You can go back and review. I believe you said, you worded it poorly. You didn't mean to agree to May 15th. You meant to agree to April 1st. But the email, you guys have the email, right? Do you?
Yes.
So, I obviously took it as May 15th was okay. I think most people would take it as May 15th was okay. So obviously miscommunication, we can agree to that, right?
You can continue on. I'll respond after. That's fine.
Okay, I think it's just easier to go a little back and forth than me going back and try to remember 5 minutes, but whatever. But yeah, clearly miscommunication. He said one thing, I thought he meant something else. He thought I understood, I obviously didn't. So we went to the wetlands meeting. We set a new date for April 30th. And as you can see, he's pretty much gone. So he was planting trees today. Yeah.
I think you need to know what can you put in that warehouse. What is
Yeah,
it
so,
zoned for?
yeah. So, it was,
Telling us you're in compliance?
I'm sorry,
Are you saying that you're in compliance?
yeah, he still has a week. I think
But
he's
it's all
going to
done.
spruce up some of the yard some more or something, plant some grass or whatever, but,
No.
no?
So he was asked to plant trees, he put them in. So as far as he's concerned, he's gone, and everything is put exactly the way he was asked. But the bigger issue right now, I think, is what is that building zoned for that Matt can use it for? He bought this building that was zoned to have the back used as a warehouse, right?
Or, yeah.
And it was being used as a warehouse. So I think really the issue that he needs answered from you guys is what is it, what zoning, who can he rent that to? What is the zoning for that building?
I think you're not understanding what zoning board of appeals is. We're not planning and zoning. We're different. We're strictly here for pretty black and white issues. So do you want to explain what
No,
our
no,
job is?
Right,
You can't answer that question, that's fine. But
Our
do you have-
job is here to listen to your appeal. So you had filed an appeal of the order. All we can do tonight is decide to either uphold the appeal and say what Rick ordered is correct, or we can deny the appeal and say that what you've presented to us is correct. And that's the only issue we're looking at tonight.
Okay. Can you all understand why on the email he sent me saying, thanks for the correspondence, whatever, on May 15th, how someone might misinterpret that as, he said May 15th was fine.
If you're asking us to answer, we won't. We'll have to wait till Rick tells us what he's telling us, and then we'll have discussion, so.
Okay, that's fine. So do you have any questions for me or anything?
Open it up to the board. Questions for the appellant? No? Hearing none. Rick?
Are the photos, you all got front and back? I know you got,
Yep.
okay. But you can get doubles.
No,
Okay.
I just got two pieces of paper,
Okay,
and I
okay.
knew what they meant.
Okay.
So this property's been the subject of several violations in the past. It was owned by James Limo, and I believe it was 2016. He was cited for the same thing, for having a lawn business, property maintenance company using that facility to store and operate their business, which is not allowed under the regulations. In 2020, the same occurrence and a similar complaint came in. At the time, the property was being transferred to Mr. DeRoma. The trees that you're seeing, these were planted today, I guess?
Yes.
All right. Those were supposed to be planted under the wetlands approval back in 2020 as part of the agreement. And I guess shame on me for not going back and check on it, because at that time it was explained to both Greg Domaney, and Mr. DeRoma that the use of the building, that operation was not allowed there. I just never went back and checked just because of that time of the, we were heading into COVID and everything else around that time. So the issue came up again in January. As for taking pictures of children, I went down there and took pictures twice. There were no children down there either time. Any other pictures that I have were taken from the church parking lot next door. So Mr. DeRoma tonight and previously at the wetlands meeting mentioned someone going down there. I don't know who he's talking about. It hasn't been me going down there other than those 2 times. And no pictures of any children were taken. So, and I didn't see any children down there either. So we can skip to February 8th when I met with Mr. DeRoma and the confusion on the date of May 15th and May 1st. The issue and the agreement that we had at that meeting was that nothing would be parked in the rear of the building. What was in the building could stay there until they had it removed. I was told that April 1st, Mr. Domani had rented another location. Everything was going to be moved out of the back. That wasn't the case. That's why the cease and desist was issued, because they weren't living up to what they agreed to at that meeting. And the email is simply that. You know, they sent me the email, and thanks for the update. But that was under the understanding that nothing was to be parked down in the wetlands behind the property. Whatever was in the building that they had to remove, fine, it was in there, I didn't see it, but it was supposed to be out of there by the 15th. But as for anything else being parked in the wetlands, I took pictures from the parking lot next door several times after that date of the cease and desist, and there were still vehicles, backhoes, bobcats, trailers, other pieces of machinery that were still there. So that's pretty much sums up the situation. The use of the previous use years ago was a rug company that was in there when Alimo owned the property. After that, I'm not really sure what went in there, and there wasn't really an approval. There was just a trade name certificate that I found at the time. The first occurrence was, like I said, another property maintenance landscaping company that was there in 2016. Mr. Alimo was issued the citation. That property company was removed from there or left and went to another location in town.
So can you tell me what this property can be used for?
As for that, I believe I sent Mr. DeRoma an email with the section of the regulations and a link to the
It
regulations.
is very vague. But, I mean, you did say I could use it for myself. You know, and I said, well, you know, I could store comic supplies back there. And you know, jokingly said, well, you know, it's a comic store. How many supplies can you have? You know, there's a decent amount. So, I mean, I'll probably end up just using it for myself. You know,
Okay.
I have storage.
The question I was asking is because you asked.
Yeah,
What can
no,
you
and I
use it for?
appreciate
The
that.
bottom line is,
I sent
you
them.
use it for,
Yeah, whatever's allowed in the use table, which I sent them the link to, you know, and whatever is allowed there. Some things may need a special permit, something can go in there with a site plan approval. Same as any place anywhere else in town.
HVBL. Which one is it?
It's this table.
This one, right?
Yep. And then it's the outside comment.
Right, these.
Yeah. Yep.
Right,
We have it.
this one, yep.
Should be 2 pages.
If you need help, this, because the table can be confusing to someone who doesn't look at
It's
them all the time.
it's very vague and
But, well, it lists a lot of things that you could put there, so just ask Rick or go up to the office and they'll just walk you through it, because there's, I mean, what do we got here? Just for, get a special permit, so you have options, but you'd have to go back to planning and zoning, it wouldn't come to us.
okay. Well, like I said, as of right now, I'm just
A lot of
going
it's
to use it
site
for
plan
myself.
Uses that are pretty
And as you
simple.
said, Rick?
restaurants.
Unless I'm mistaken, when you said, you know, it's existing building, you own the building, it's existing usage, it's an extension of my place, I can do supplies and stuff there.
You can use it for
Yeah.
storage of your
Yeah.
materials, yeah.
And any retail use is permitted, Rick, right, based on that, as long as they get site plan approval
I-
for it.
Yeah, it may just need a zoning permit. It just depends on what
So
the
that's
retail
not-
says.
It's
not
just
terrible,
me,
you're
I
allowed to do
don't,
it.
I can't.
Yeah, but
Yep.
if you, but
Yeah.
the point is, you own it, you have
Yeah, yeah.
options, and 5 years from now, you may
Yeah,
decide,
right,
I
yeah.
want to do
Okay,
some, or
no.
sell it to somebody else and they do something. But yeah, you might just want to hang on to this with your
Okay.
stuff. Rick, is that pretty much it?
If I could just add, and, you know, I don't want to belabor the point that we went over wetlands. Some of the pictures he took were, you know, the flatbed was down on the truck. He was obviously loading things up. And he needed vehicles down there to move stuff. I mean, the backhoe and stuff, I guess, was in the building or whatever. He moved it out. But, you know, same thing with wetlands. You know, you need vehicles down there to move the stuff out. You know, he wasn't trying to disrespect the rules or anything. He just needed, you know, there's no other way to move stuff out without, you know, you're not lifting it and carrying it.
But is the
So-
bottom line to what you're telling us this evening, you're in compliance,
Yeah, yeah.
Rick?
As long as they're out of there, then they would be in compliance.
And Rick, I mean, since you're the one who took some of the photos, like I said with the wetlands, I don't know why you gave me so much pushback. If you want to go back there and take photos, you want to look in the building, just knock on my door.
I don't want to look in the
You know?
building.
Okay,
The
well-
situation was that the agreement was that trucks and vehicles and equipment would not be parked in the wetlands. It's not just the parking, it's what it can do to the wetlands. You're parking trucks out there, not you, but he was parking dump trucks, sanders, all that stuff, if it rains, snows, gets washed into the water system.
Okay, I understand that. I also, I mean, you know, that road is a state road. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, Route 190 is a statewide road, you're correct.
No.
It's not a driveway. It's a right-of-way for both of our properties.
It's not a road, it's private property.
No,
It's a right-of-way. I have it, it's on my deed for my house.
It's a right-of-way for you.
Yes, so the
Yeah,
state bought,
but
the
not-
state bought that.
That's because of the drainage system that goes down there. And that's for them because a couple of years ago, it caved in, and they had to go down and fix the storm drain system. Yeah, I'm fully aware of that, but that doesn't pertain really to this.
Okay. But what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, but just, you know, like I said, if you want to take photos downstairs, just, you don't have to give me any notice whatsoever. Just come knock. I mean, it's getting warmer. The kids are going to play down there. And,
As long as you're in compliance, then there's no more,
but if
landscapers
someone
th-
said something and you feel I'm not,
well, then I'll be sure to stop in and talk to you
yeah.
before I go down.
I mean, I think we can just have a conversation without, you know, or you just ask. I'll put it in writing, you know. You can go down there anytime. Just let me know and make sure that the kids aren't there. I mean, I'll pull you aside and let you know exactly the reason why, you know, but
The reason why,
I'll pull you aside after, you know. It's something I don't want, you know, public, you know.
Fine.
Okay.
There's nothing else? No further questions of the board? Do I have a motion to close this?
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, hearing is closed. Do we have any proposed motion?
Well, Rick, I just need to take some guidance here. If they're in compliance, does the cease and desist become null and void, or?
well, you have to make a motion on the appeal.
Right. We have to.
Because he
decide
did
this.
submit an appeal, it's a formal appeal, so you have to make the motion or a vote on whether to uphold was the cease and desist correct in being issued, or is his appeal correct?
Okay.
That's what I was asking, if we had such a motion on the floor.
I'm pretty sure, I don't remember seeing one written, so I may have to make one up.
I mean, the hearing's closed. We can't take your testimony.
Okay, let me find a copy of this. Hold on, Rick, I'm coming. I make a motion to uphold the cease and desist of Section 5.20 Business Use Table of ZBA 2024-03-22 at 348 Hazard Avenue.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Are we ready to vote?
You need a roll call or a hand vote?
Well, we'll do a hand vote. There's only 4 of us. All those in favor? Against, abstain, none, none. Okay.
Okay. Who made the second?
I did.
Do you want to tell me why we upheld the cease and desist? Any pearly words other than the fact that we did?
I think the reason that we upheld the cease and desist was that the order was lawful and the use was not permitted, and the
Thank you.
applicant failed to provide evidence to the contrary.
The order was lawful and the,
Applicant failed to provide evidence to the contrary.
okay, we're done?
Do you want to explain to them what it means? I don't know if you.
Well, you'll get a notice from the town, so we've upheld the cease and desist, but if everything's in compliance, I would expect nothing more will come.
Yeah, I'll contact you ahead of time. Why don't you give me your, actually, I'll send you an email. I have your email. And you got a telephone number?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's 860-803-1965. But like I said, you just swing on by.
Okay.
Like, I'll be in the shop 10 to 7. I won't be there Sunday.
Neither will I.
Moving on in our agenda to approval of minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right. Do we have any corrections, edits?
Just a quick question, how much longer?
For what?
I know, for like the whole general,
Meeting?
yeah.
Maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
Kind of way I just talk to you real quick? Okay.
I didn't have any changes.
No, it looks okay to me. All right. All those in favor? Okay, minutes are approved. Correspondence and staff report. You have anything else for us, Rick?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Other business. Does anybody have other business?
I don't think we have any open items.
Okay.
You haven't
We-
heard anything from the state, Marianne, right, in terms of, we had some work you had done previously.
K7
the
stuff?
K7s.
That never made it out of committee. We'll give it another whirl next year.
Yep.
You just like seeing me.
We have the town attorney reports on the agenda. I don't know if there's
Seems like they're
anything much
really
to
dragging.
discuss there.
Yeah.
Not that much of it's us anyways.
There are several that are still going through litigation, and
I think they're taking a long time, but, okay,
We have executive session on here, but I don't think we need it for anything.
make a motion to
So
adjourn.
do I have a motion? Oh, you do.
Second.
All righty. We are adjourned.
Thank you very much.